Alright, here we are, game number 5, I believe, coming off a loss, and so here we are. There's a new update in place. We'll get it started. So, we're playing here, we're on Arena, once again, the site of my demise previously. This time, I am playing as the Indians. My opponent, Big Noob, is playing as Camel. I very nearly went Goths again on this map because the Goths got a nice little bonus in this most recent update where their infantry is now super cheap, even back in even in the Dark Age. And so I really wanted to try and use that in Drush, but a Drush isn't going to do really anything on Arena, realistically, so I went with Indians, figuring they were much better. They're a really good booming civilization, and also their camels get the bonus against buildings, so it won't be quite as problematic trying to break into his base as it is otherwise. So you can see my opponent here, Mr. Big Noob. Little unconventional, but he's doing okay. For myself, out the gate, we get mostly a clean start. I do get housed at one point. I very nearly end up losing a villager to a boar in a little bit, but it's going to go all right. And I think for this opening bit, because it's Arena, we know that there's not going to be any early aggression or anything like that. I'm going to just turn it to double speed for the time being and watch it go. So we're going to go pretty much with the exact same strategy that I went with in the Gold Rush game, where I was also the Indians. Pretty much fast castle into camels. That's the plan here. And more or less, my start is going to be fairly clean with just a couple of hiccups where I get housed. So, once again, the continuing battle of me trying to remember to build houses. It's really what it is. I managed to dodge it here. Perfect timing. That house goes up just as my 15th villager comes out, but it's not going to be meant to be. I do not use the auto-scouting feature that is new with this update in this one. I'll probably try it in another game. And once again, also it's Arena, so it's not that difficult to scout. You pretty much know what the setup is going to be every time, which is obviously kind of nice for us. There comes our first boar. Take it nice and easy. And we're sending our first 3 to gold here, and then we'll get our wood lines filled out. Oop, not feel lock. There we go, just got housed for the first time. Oops. Look at my opponent. Once again, a little bit goofy. He's got a boar out here. He's got a bunch on berries. He's been taking straggler trees this whole time. He now actually has 2 lumber camps, but he takes a little bit to stop taking straggler trees and instead take trees from the lumber camp. So that's well, they're not trees, I suppose. They're bamboo. But yeah, that's a little bit unorthodox, but one thing that is kind of funny is we're going to actually click up to the feudal age at literally the same time. But, and so like you see here, it's a little unorthodox, but he doesn't lose any villagers to the boar. He takes it, he's right by the mill, so it's going okay. So clearly he has at least some grasp of what he wants to do. He's also now got a bunch more on wood. Not sure why he built this second lumber camp if he's just going to have all of these go to this one. But, hey, do what you want to do. I actually found 2 of his sheep that he apparently didn't find earlier. And I should have actually just left them where they were, because that's actually going to tell him that they're there. So he sends his scout over to pick them up. Anyways, you can see we clicked up to feudal age at like the exact same time, but here's the issue. We clicked up at the same time, but he is 3 villagers behind me, that's not ideal. If you're clicking up with a lower villager count, you usually hope that you're clicking up faster. So, yeah, that's not ideal. But at the time, I was not aware of that. Oh, let's get the score up here. I see that I've got a little bit of a score lead on him, but I was like, oh, he's matching me right spot for spot. Also, good news for him, he's getting his upgrades right away, which is also good. The one bad thing here is, so I'm going to pretty much have a flawless straight up to castle age here. Got my, you can see I'm already on my way up. I've got my smith. I'm getting upgrades already. We look at his resources. He is not ready to go up to castle age, and he's going to be a bit. So that's going to be a bit of an issue for him. And you can see this time, even though once again it's arena, so it's not that difficult, but we do have better scouting again this time, which is nice. So, from the last game, I've learned from my mistakes, even though it's arena and it's a map that typically plays towards sort of sitting back, playing defensively and booming. I'm not going to do this. So I've got my 2 stables built. I'm getting my cavalry upgrades. We're going to build camels right away out of these, and we're going to go straight to the offensive. Because, you know, how do we solve our problems with aggression? If I go down, I decide I'm going to go down swinging this time. So, we've got camels being produced out of both stables right away. We've got a monastery up right away as well, and we're going to get a bunch of the relics. I actually don't remember how many relics I end up getting, but I get a lot of them. So, right around here, once the camels come out, we'll put it to normal speed. There they go. I'm going to wait here for one more camel, and then we're going to move on out. Yeah, so we're just going to send the camels up here, and, you know, a spot like this is going to really... So there's our first relic. A game like this really shows the difference, I think, between lower-level players and really high-level players, because when you watch high-level players, this sort of aggression would be totally unbothersome to them. They come up, they just wall behind, or whatever they might do. So I come up, I'm just going to attack the gatehouse, just because I figure we can get all of these guys on there, so the attack bonus will stack up higher. And so he initially sends these guys to look, but he's going to end up just building a tower here, which is kind of just a waste of stone. So more experienced players would react much more calmly to this. They know that I'm not getting through anytime soon, but I am going to be through sooner than he thinks, because unbeknownst to him, I am putting a siege workshop up here. There we've got another relic in hand. I went hard to get the relics in this game, but basically I followed my own advice from the last game. So you can see he's putting up a tower here. He's only doing it with one villager, so I'm going to stay on this for a little bit. Obviously I know I'm not going to get through before that tower goes up, but I stay on it for a little bit to make sure that he's going to use all of the stone to complete that tower. But, anyways, so there we go. He's about halfway through to the tower, so I get off of it, and I'm just going to come over here and attack the wall here, basically. So, anyways, I follow my advice from last time where I said I should have been aggressive, built a forward siege workshop, and gone after him. Here, that's exactly what we're doing. We build the forward siege workshop. We're going to get rams coming out of there, and obviously we're just making sure he knows that we're here, staying on some of these walls. He is building spearmen, and as you can see here, he does have one of the attack bonuses. He's also got all of his cavalry upgrades, which, when you're building light cavalry, is not ideal. He's finally on his way up to Castle Age, but even though probably not the best idea to be getting all of your cavalry upgrades with light cavalry, at least he is getting his upgrades. You can see him just barely getting away with another relic. But, so he sends some spears out here. I just kind of run away, but I'm going to actually come over and engage them. Because once again, the key here is that these are just spearmen. They do have their upgrades, but they're not pikemen or anything yet. So, the reality is, as long as I've got decent numbers, I can take these fights just fine. Those are going to become a threat to me if he gets them in large numbers. So I figure if he's going to send out any sort of small numbers, I can kill him. He gets unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that he did not tell that scout to come out here, that the scout went out on his own. He is finally in Castle Age, and right away you see him going for the pikeman upgrade there. Once again, good. So this is a much better defense than we've seen in a couple of my other wins. He's getting some upgrades. He's making the right units. You know, here comes the issue. So he doesn't see this yet, but Ram's coming up. We're going to get through his wall. And once again, what he should be doing, I've got no archers. He can be coming up here and house walling behind it, whatever he wants to do, to delay me further. And then he should be really, like, making more barracks than just this one to produce spearmen out of, because once again, he also gets the light cavalry upgrade, which in this situation I'm not so sure about, given that I've got a bunch of camels. For what it's worth, he doesn't see those there. They weren't in his line of sight, but obviously light cavalry versus camels is not a great option. And once again, it's not an ideal fight for me, but he's got spearmen in such low numbers that I'm pretty comfortable fighting them. Once again, he continues to make some light cavalry, which isn't ideal either. So, if we look from his point of view, you can see he wasn't able to see them there. He doesn't know that I've got buildings up here either, which isn't great for him. So I don't know if he suspected or not, but anyways, once again, at the very least, though, he's producing the right units. He's producing some pikemen. He's gotten them their upgrades. He's producing some villagers. He's got 14 pikemen queued up here, though, and that's really the sign. Make more buildings, my man. So he's got 14 pikemen queued up there, which you can see over here. But if you've got the resources for that, they're going to come out one at a time, and I've got enough camels here that that's just not going to bother me. And I'm continuing to produce camels behind this as well. So we've got 2 stables now up here along with the siege workshop. We're just going to work our way through it. He does get a little bit wise, though. He starts to garrison his pikemen in the stable at first. Once again, he's popping them out here. There's only 2. Like, hypothetically, these are cost-effective fights for him over the long term. But, you know, I'm in your base. This isn't like... If this was, like, out in the middle of the map, then you'd say, okay, well, we're taking cost-effective fights, we're using less resources than my opponent, so this is okay, but we're in your base, you need to be making a defense. And here I finally remember with my camels, oh right, I should be going to kill stuff, to kill villagers. With the barracks gone, I'm not worried about him producing a bunch of pikemen over here, so we come up and we're going to get into his wood line. Just for what it's worth, I don't see that he is up here at all. I'm actually not going to see that, period. And I just send the rams straight to the town center because I figure that he's not going to be producing a ton anymore. He does have some light cav coming out, but obviously the camels are going to make really quick work of that. And we've got more camels back here. We've got a couple more rams ready to come in when we need it. I do leave my camels under the town center a little long. Usually town centers tend to prioritize the ram, but he actually does shoot at the camels. He kills a couple of them, so I take some unnecessary losses. So I run them out here once again. Obviously, I see the gate. I should have figured he was out there, but I didn't. So let's run the camels out, send some more camels in. And also, it's around this point that I remember that, so Khmer, one of their bonuses is they can garrison villagers into houses. So we're going to destroy this production building first, because obviously it always helps to go after production buildings. You see right away, by the way, he responded. He's already out. He's got a new town center, taking advantage of the Khmer farming bonus where they don't need to go to a mill. So that's all well and good. So we get that down, and then I remember, oh, he's got villagers in these houses. So we're going to start trying to burn down the houses and get the villagers out of them. I send this ram over here, and there we go. We're dropping a castle right there. Make sure that we hold our position up here, even if he's run off and getting more production going somewhere. So once again, good response. He builds a couple of barracks. Now he's got 2. The bad news for him is that at this point, he's running very low on all resources other than wood. As you can see here, this is his resources. So he is trying to produce out of these, but he doesn't have enough resources to produce that many spearmen or pikemen. He actually bought some wood there, as you can see. He sold some food, bought some wood, trying to get himself up and ready. But once again, with just 2 barracks, he's going to have trouble getting enough numbers to really compete with me. And his villagers are now dying by the truckload as they get taken out of their houses there. So really, right here, so once again, you've got enough wood. He should have just kind of given up on this bit. And built the barracks back here right away and tried to get up numbers. Because if he gets up enough numbers of pikemen, he can push back these camels and potentially save himself. But he puts the barracks out here, and he's just not going to be able to get up the numbers. He needs something to delay while he gets up those kinds of numbers that he needs. And once again, now you see he's not producing anything. He's got enough resources to be trying to produce stuff, and he's just not. And so I get food. With just food, you can only produce light cavalry. That's not going to help you a whole lot in this situation. At the very least, he ought to be producing non-stop villagers out of here. He's actually got enough wood and stone for a second town center. He's got so much food. What he really needs to do, he needs to be producing all the villagers in the world. And then, as he's doing here, like, once again, this is the right move. Make a couple more barracks, start trying to produce pikemen out of them. At this point, I'm just searching around trying to find him. But he had so much food right away when he came over here. He should have been focusing on getting as many villagers out and getting as much wood as he could. Because now he's already out of wood again, and he's only got like 11 pikemen queued up here. So, I see that he's over here. I'm going to send my camels back over here to help take care of the houses. And then the rams are just going to come up and we're going to push our way through. We'll switch back over to me. Once again, a little bit of a downside for me. I do not keep up good villager production. I'm only at 50 still. If you look up here, I've still only got 11 on food, which isn't good. So a continued issue for me. I need to really get myself focused on keeping my home production going, my home economy going. Because once again, had he played this a little bit better and been able to push me back, I would have had a serious issue. So the Rams are here, he decides to come up, and I actually get myself into a little bit of trouble here, because I'm going to get some of my camels trapped in here. But once again, I've just got so many camels that even though this is a good fight for him, really cost effective, I've just got too many camels. He doesn't have enough pikemen to really fight back effectively. This is a really bad fight for me, so I do take some unnecessary losses there, and now I'm trapped inside, so I can't get the rest of my numbers through, so I really need to get this gate down. Fortunately, of course, we're going to be able to. And we've got more rams coming in, we've got more camels, so there goes the gate. And so he is continuing to produce at the very least, but it's just not enough. He doesn't have the numbers. And then I don't see the town center here yet, but I figure there's probably something over here, so I decided to send the camels over. And there's a villager, and then in a second we see the town center. There we go. And now I know that this is where he is. I accidentally selected the camels with the rams at that point. So I send the camels over here to kill the pikemen. I'm just going to send the rams straight into the town center, which I think correct play there. Yeah, really, for my opponent, you can see he's got a bunch more pikemen queued up. He's actually going to sneak someone out to build a barracks out here to try and build some more pikemen. But, I mean, at this point, it's really hopeless over here as well. So let's see here. At some point, because there's going to be a barracks up here, he's going to try and sneak some out. Also, he's clearly got some villagers in this, so I don't know why he didn't pop them out earlier to try and go get himself some more wood. But now the rams are at the town center. The camels are going to come over here, and so the camels are going to come over here. They're going to finish off the villagers, and then we're going to take care of all these houses. But he still doesn't GG. I'm a little bit confused. I'm pretty worried that he's like run off. Alright, so there he's putting up a barracks. I'm a little worried that he somehow got out and has run off into a corner of the map somewhere. Whoop, that guy has been idle for a very long time. Oops. Pay attention to that, Joe. So we're working our way through these houses. Once again, figuring, so I did house him earlier, and we actually are going to house him here again. So I figured let's go through these. There's obviously some villagers in one of them as well. And then I figured even if he did manage to run away, hopefully we can help to mess up his production by just getting him housed. So that's what we do. So I come over this way first just to double check there's nothing else over here. There is indeed nothing else. So then we start to come back, and I actually see this barracks then at this point. Once again, he is at the very least, he is producing something, but he's just got the one barrack, so it's not going to be enough. And then my camels are going to come over here, and we're going to clean that out as well. And he pops his pikemen out there again. Once again, there's only two of them, man. I mean, cost effective or not, cost effective isn't what you need right now. So he really, I still think had he at this point build a couple of barracks like back behind this wall so that I can't get right to you. He does build another barracks there. But if he had put his barracks earlier somewhere where I couldn't get to right away, he could have maybe amassed enough numbers where he could have given me issues. And once again, as I said before, my economy back home is not what it needs to be. There we go. That's the GG after I have done that, gotten over there. But as you can see back here, my economy is really not what it needed to be, quite frankly. So, had he managed to push back, he could have maybe had a chance to come back. But, as it was, he didn't. But, at the very least, he did continue to produce units. He was producing the right units. He got his upgrades. So, I think overall a much better game from my opponent than in a couple of my other wins. The main issue here was just that he just was not fast enough to getting units out, and the production just wasn't high enough. As for myself, looking at this game as opposed to the last arena game, it's just another example of be the aggressor. I did make a couple of elephant archers just for the lulz. Be the aggressor, go for it. I think if I had done something like this in my previous game against the player who was Persians, I would have been a lot better off. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's really what it is. Another good game for my opponent, and, you know, he's very courteous about it. So, Big Noob, you did well. Should have just made some more production buildings, I think, to try and match my production. Because you were taking decent fights or cost-effective fights, I just had such overwhelming numbers the entire time that it didn't matter. And the fact that he allowed me to get all... I missed one. I must have just not seen that one. But I was able to get almost all the relics, which really helped as well. So, that's that. Once again, we need to be aggressive. I think I've learned my lesson from that last game. So another win. We're moving on up. Hopefully before too long we get to the point where I'm getting my butt handed to me aside from just me screwing up and not being aggressive. So for now, stay beautiful, everybody, and I will see you next time.